Good evening, all. We'll begin with a prayer. So, Mr. Owen, lead us in prayer.
Let's pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, we are blessed to be in your presence tonight, Lord. We just pray for your wisdom and pray for your will over our board tonight, Lord. And, Lord, we just want to thank you for this great nation, this great state, and this great county. Lord, we are also privileged and blessed to be with Mr. Wiggins today, Lord, 105 years old, Lord. We just want to give praise for his life and, Lord, and for his family being here tonight as well. So, Lord, we just ask you to look over everything that we do tonight. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Now, pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll call the meeting to order. First order of business will be the approval of minutes from our last meeting.
I make a motion to approve as corrected.
Second.
Motion on the floor.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? Carried none. So the minutes are passed. Any agenda adjustments? I think I saw one.
Well, if I may, we discussed, there's been a request to not to remove, but to move the resolution honoring Mr. Wiggins' 105th birthday up before the delegation. And under old business, to add Smith Waterville.
And that'll be number 6.
Yes, under old business, and under new business, the housing committee appointment request.
Any discussion,
Is that,
changes?
that's number 9 on our new agenda already right now?
Yes, I'm sorry. I
So we're
read it
on that
all.
one.
Yes. So that-
And don't we have an appointment to
The CAC.
the,
That's number 10.
okay, that's wrong. Thank you.
So we want to move new business number 6 next on the agenda.
Yes, please.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that we, under new business number 6, we move next on the agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? Hearing none, we'll move that in the agenda and the resolution for Mr. Wiggins, honoring his 105th birthday. Resolution celebrating Milton Joseph Wiggins' 105th birthday. Whereas Milton Joseph Wiggins was born on November 19, 1914. Happy birthday. Whereas Mr. Wiggins recently celebrated his 105th birthday on November 19, 2019. And whereas Mr. Wiggins has worked hard throughout his life to provide for his family. And whereas during Mr. Wiggins' life he has farmed, been a professional painter, and a logger. In an effort to find a better way of living, he moved outside the county, and whereas Mr. Wiggins returned to Gates County in 1992, thank you, sir, and has been involved in the faith-based community and an active member of the St. John A.M. Zion Church of Sunbury. And whereas Mr. Wiggins plans to continue to contribute to his community and stay active as long as his health permits. And therefore, be it resolved, the Gates County Board of Commissioners wishes to extend to Mr. Wiggins many wishes for a healthy and happy November 6th birthday. Be it further resolved that the resolution adopted this 4th day of March 2020 shall be entered into the minutes of the Gates County Board of Commissioners and a copy presented to Mr. Wiggins. I think Mr. Wiggins, you stand and be recognized. If you come up to the come up to the this way. Get a photograph of it with
What instructions?
There you go, right here, look right here, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You can hold in front of Commissioner Jones. So now may I have a motion to pass this resolution?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? So be it. Resolution passed. Thank you, Mr. Wiggins. If you want to, we'll take a 5-minute recess.
I believe the Wiggins family's gonna stay a little
Oh, you
while.
want to say more? Okay. All right, do we have any delegations?
The announced delegate first is Shayla Hayes.
Good evening. My name is Shayla Hayes. I am the coordinator for Gates Partners for Health. And I stand before you on this evening to give a brief update on some of the efforts that Gates Partners for Health has done over the past 6 months. We are continuing to implement our cancer and diabetes support groups. They meet on the second Monday of every month. Diabetes support group meets at 10 a.m., cancer support group meets at 3 p.m. We have averaged around 10 to 15 participants per month in both support groups. And the support groups offer opportunities for community members who are affected by cancer or diabetes to learn more about the diseases and ways to maintain healthy lifestyles while living with the diseases. Back in November 2019, Gates Partners for Health collaborated with the health education team at Albemarle Regional Health Services to do some tobacco and vaping prevention education. We launched a campaign at Gates County High School to educate students as well as parents about the dangers and effects of vaping. This was done at the homecoming game where we passed out informational cards that mentioned the dangers of vaping, as well as some resources for students who were having a hard time quitting vaping. During the campaign, students were able to participate by taking pictures in a photo booth where they had little anti-vaping messaging that was held up and they uploaded it to the school social media pages to help get the word out. We also went one day during a school day, during lunch periods, to provide additional education to students who may not have been present at the homecoming football game. We also participated in a health fair during the Merchant Mill Pond State Park's Mill Pond Day. Several different agencies participated and health screenings were provided by Body and Wellness Center of Ahoskie. During that health fair, health-related resources were offered to all those who were in attendance. Some upcoming programming and events that Gates Partners for Health is preparing to do is we're partnering with Roanoke Shoreline Community Health Center to offer a diabetes prevention program for Gates County residents as well as Gates County employees. Diabetes prevention programs are designed to help those who are at risk for diabetes to lower their risk by making lifestyle changes to become healthier. We're also planning to implement the Faithful Families Thriving Communities program with the faith community in Gates County. The program consists of 9 sessions where participants discuss healthy eating, physical activity strategies, nutrition, meal preparation, cooking, food safety, and the importance of daily physical activity. We also have plans to implement the Know It, Control It blood pressure monitoring program with the senior age group in Gates County. Recruitment for that program is currently underway. I do want to take the time on behalf of Gates Partners for Health to thank you all for your continued support, continued funding. We greatly appreciate it. Any questions for me?
Thank you for your comments. I would like to mention, are you involved also in the ALS study? Are you aware of that?
So Albemarle Regional Health Services is involved in that. Gates Partners for Health doesn't have any involvement with that, but Gates Partners for Health is partially supported through Albemarle Regional Health Services.
Any questions, comments, concerns?
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, for our unannounced delegations, Rachel Gatton.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rachel Gavin. I'm the senior manager of the nutrition program out of Albemarle. Laura Robinson is my supervisor, and we are trying to get different one to carry a meal, home delivered meal. Now, we have reached out, I think she talked with Melissa and the town manager, and we're trying to get enough of. We serve around 450 people in this county a month, and we don't have enough home delivery. Thanks to one of your commissioners, he gets his foot wet, going out to help. And the sheriff Ray Cameron have started helping. So I'm here, so maybe y'all know someone that would help us get those meals out, because they desperately need those meals.
Very good. Support
of like making a commitment, maybe one day a
One day,
month.
one day a month is all I would need, one day a month.
I have a delivery meals tomorrow.
Is this I didn't hear Meals on Wheels.
Meals on
This is
Wheels.
Meals on Wheels.
And it's only an hour of your time.
Yeah.
And they're important not only for delivering meals, but it is someone going into your home and checking on that person each and every day. And they, you know, there is a protocol that they, you know, sometimes they find them that fallen or whatever.
Yes,
So it's important that I see a person each and every day, Monday through Friday.
yes, I went and they called 911 because they had fell in the house. So, we need y'all help, someone to help us to get those meals, because they desperate need those meals.
Miss Rachel, you're not gonna leave that easy. Because I literally have got my feet wet, leaving for you.
Yes, you have.
There's 3 sites in the county. How many sites? Will you explain to the crowd?
It's 4.
Four.
Now, it's 4, it's Sunbury, Core Peak, Ewart, and Gates. Gates is the one that really needs the help. We have 10 people that we deliver meals to. And they are the one that really needs the help. It's Gates. Sunbury, they are taken care of, Core Peak, but it's Gates. Gates.
Which starts at the community center.
Starts at the community center, and it's not even an hour to run that, those meals.
You can do it in about 33 minutes if you drive fast. It's not raining. It's my understanding. But let me, to elaborate if I can, started doing it last year, and Miss Rachel kept begging and begging, and I felt bad for her. And we still do it. And she wants me to do it more, but I see a lot of people out there in the county, and she said 450 meals a month, but you get to the community center about 10:50 to 11 o'clock, and you're back at 12. The instructions are well printed out for you. She will happily give you her calendar a month ahead of time, so you can put it down if you've got some free time. I know you have some free time. And I know she'll appreciate it, and I will too, so she'll quit coming across the street asking me, can I go for it? But like Commissioner Hoffman said, it's really good. You know, you always think about why are you doing it, and it's nice to see the smile on people's faces when you take them to meals. So if you're going to do it once a month, you know, she's not asking for every week. She would love that, I know, but once a month would be a big blessing to the citizens and to Ms. Rachel.
Yes, it is.
Has anyone contacted our Rotary clubs as pertaining to those deliveries that you're aware of?
No.
Scatman, who's the person to contact, a number or something?
Laura Robinson, or you can call me at the community center.
Okay.
I'll give you my number.
Okay. What's your number, if that's okay with you?
Okay, the number is 357-3713.
Okay. Thank you for sharing with us tonight.
And that's 357-3713. I see somebody trying to catch up.
And our clerk has been very good about putting that on, anything else pertaining to that. I'm sure it's coordinated between the two of us. So, thank you, Melissa, thank you, Ms. Gabbard.
And we all could, you know, all organizations we belong to, the churches, and, you know, pass the word. That's volunteers.
And next, Ms. Pittman, Marianne Pittman. Brings us a date on census.
I think I'm going to be long on turn. But anyway, my name is Marianne Pittman. I am the Gates County Chair for the Complete Count Census Committee. Just like to apologize that I don't have a printed report for you guys today. My printer has gone south. So it's in your email. But just to go over things briefly, The committee met on February 11th. We'll be meeting again next week, March 10th. The distribution of the marketing flyer that I provided to you at a previous meeting has begun. Special enumeration information has been provided to the census. Special enumeration is group quarters, nursing homes, etc., and of course transient living locations. So they've got that. Recruitment for enumerators ended last Friday, the 28th of February. People should be receiving their first contact from the census mid-month. We have sent out a public service announcement to the index. You have a copy of that in your report, and that should be published next week. The water bill has been finalized. We have 2 months, thanks to your efforts, March and April. I have to commend Ms. Hendricks for her efforts. She was extremely cooperative, very helpful, and she did a great job for us. We appreciate it. The enclosure that you have in your report shows everything in black, but the PSA for the census will be in red, so it will be very noticeable. I would like to ask again for another 2 months. I know money is very tight, I know things are very hard, but the water bill is the best way to reach people. It reaches the most people in the county, it reaches the most households, and I'd like you to remember that while that's a $200 investment, one more person responding, just one person, gives you a 10 times return on investment to the county in terms of what money we'll see from the census over the next 10 years. It will pay for itself in 1 year. And that's just one person. And since it reaches over 4,000 people, we should be able to get a few more bodies. The committee is working on a new flyer, a smaller one. You'll see a rough draft in your report, in your email, that we plan to give out at the community center, the library, GEMS, and we'll generally distribute as much as we can. It's easier because we can fit 2 on 1 page, so it cuts down our printing cost, which of course we're all for it. So we're trying to do this as economically as we can. The next thing that the census has asked us to do is to work on assistance centers. And this is for the people in the county who don't have internet access. Not everybody has a smartphone. Not everybody has internet where they live. So in order to help with the response rate, the library will be working with us. The school board has indicated that they're going to try to get schools to help because they have computers. A third tier would be those firehouses that have good internet connections. For that, we have to work out a situation where if we can get help from the census to provide us enumerators to work at the firehouses, if we can get all that together, then we might ask the firehouses. Sunbury has already indicated a willingness, so we'll see how that works, because they don't have computers on site the way the library and the schools do. So again, I'd like to thank the board for their support, and to ask that, please, if you can find a way to do another 2 months, it would be an assistance to the enumerators, because by May, the enumerators would be starting to hit the pavement. And anything that we could put in a water bill that would encourage people to cooperate with the enumerators rather than giving them a hard time, or refusing, would be a big help, because that will matter. That's one of the places that response rate falters, is when people have to go door to door. That's when they start to struggle. So I appreciate your time and your efforts, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to help us out there. Thank you.
Thank you for the report. Thank you for taking this job on. Any questions, comments concerning the census?
I would like to clarify that the board only approved 1 month.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me clarify. The $187 that you approved, actually, because we're going to use the same message for 2 months, it's going to cover 2 months.
Okay.
Sounds cost effective.
Yes, yes. As long as you don't change the message, you can get 2 months out of it, which I thought was great.
How many runs in the paper is that?
We're having them do one. We'll be doing a series of PSAs. We're not going to just let it go once, but as things go along, we'll want to fine tune it and change it. So we'll do that in the middle of March, and then we're meeting next week, so we'll set up another one to follow. we'll just kind of keep doing things, and I'm just gonna beg Mr. Bryan for as much help and as many articles as he's willing to write. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate Gates County Index working with us so much for that. Gates County Administrative reports. County Manager's report.
This is the report for January 18th through February 20th. Historic courthouse. Since the writing of this, the bathrooms are complete. Their warrant is still working to finalize all of the IT needs with the building, and the HVAC is to be installed in the new handicap bathroom. Staff has been doing most of the work, and it has taken a while because they've had to stop and start and work with other departments and projects as well. You have on your table tonight the floor plan, which I know most of you have been over. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Melissa has it. I know most of you have been over and either before the work, during the work, since the work, and looked at everything. But that is the floor plan for the building. The satellite update letters were received from DirecTV and Dish indicating adding 2 of the 3 channels could be considered. The one that could not be considered is the Spectrum News channel. After again reading the FCC documents, I have reached out to a county in another state, which was in Georgia, because no one in North Carolina appears to have made a request that I could find on the FCC website. After this writing, I have talked to Ms. Ayers, who is with Stevens County, Georgia, and I've also been in communication with a gentleman from Titus County, Texas. The Titus County, Texas proposal was very similar to what we had requested, and it was denied by the FCC. The gentleman has indicated the FCC has cracked down on these requests. He worked on it, and he will be determining if they are going to resubmit, and if so, he is going to reach out for an attorney's help to file the docket. Ms. Ayers with Stevens County, Georgia, called, and she said it was actually several counties. They were considered the lead county, and a local COG helped. She said it eventually fell to her. The process took about 2 to 3 years because of all the documentation that they had to compile, the number of surveys they had to do. She said they actually had to survey the entire county to find out how many of the citizens actually wanted this. She said that it was extremely time consuming. She's also the finance officer and the county administrator. So it was very time consuming, and she said her recommendation would be you hire someone to do it. So that is the update for the satellite. The Essential Single Family Rehabilitation Long Pool 19, which is the most recent housing rehabilitation program for the $25,000 limit. McDavid and Associates are still inspecting homes and interviewing candidates for the program. Unfortunately, many who applied did not qualify because their homes exceeded the $25,000 limit. And Melissa Lawrence is working with McDavid on that program. On January the 21st, Commissioner Hoffler and I attended the Northeast Workforce Development Board meeting to accept the ACT Work Ready Communities Award on behalf of Gates County. On January the 28th, Commissioner Hoffler and I attended the PCG meeting to review the fiscal year 20 budget to date and discuss the fiscal year 21 budget needs. Concerns discussed included increasing costs of tire disposal, recyclables, and electronic recycling. There was also some discussion about stickers for all sites due to the volume, as well as contractors dumping at all of the sites. So this is not only a Gates County site, but most of it did come from discussions about Gates County. And as a reminder, convenient sites are not to be used for animal waste. The landfill sells crushed concrete for $12 a ton, and compost, mulch, and sun dirt are available for free. Call ahead to see if loading is available. On February the 7th, I attended the North Carolina City and County Managers Association meeting in Winston-Salem. And following my report in your packet with some information I gathered after attending sessions on working with elected officials that I would like for the commissioners to consider. On February the 11th, Chair Freeman and I attended the Albemarle Commission Chair and Manager meeting in Hertford. The Clemens County Schools gave a presentation on the Fire Academy at the Clemens High School. February the 18th, Commissioners and Department Heads met to discuss fiscal year 21 budget needs and wants. On February 19th, Albemarle Regional Planning Organization, RTCC, and the RTAC met at Hertford. Commissioner Hoffler also attended. Legislative priorities were approved. Mark Finlayson, Director of the Highway 1764 Association, gave a presentation of the work the association does and an overview of the DOT budget. DOT Secretary James Trogdon III retired February 29th, and Eric Boyette, who at the time was the Secretary and State Chief Information Officer for the Department of Information Technology, will be his successor. He formerly worked at DOT. February 20th, I met with the county managers from Chouan and Pacoima to discuss how to proceed with animal shelter plans. A meeting will be scheduled for the managers and county members who, Chair Freeman from Gates, to meet for additional discussion. I also forgot to add into the report an update about the Gallatin Landing Boat access. And this is from Gary Gardner, who's the Section Chief of Engineering with the Wildlife Resources Commission. And I did receive this in January, at the middle of January. He says, as you may be aware, we have contracted with DOT to build a road and parking area to the boating area. They are complete with this part of the project, except for a few minor issues. We currently have our construction crew scheduled for renovation in Jones County, and the plan will be for them to head to Gallatin after that. The tentative start date will be in May, but there may be parts of the work we begin in the interim, such as completing the ramp form. As we get closer to finalizing the start date, I will be sure to update you. Also, as an update to the EIC, I forgot to forward you today the information from Dr. Mason. He's not provided all of the information. He said the file is too large, so I've asked that he send it in another format. So he will be working on that. And also, as an update from a meeting on Monday, and I do want to go ahead and prepare you for this. This is why I'm giving you the information tonight. We received a tentative insurance quote, and I know at the meeting I had hoped for 15%. It's 32% increase. Our medical loss ratio is 136%. That is the reason for the large increase. We have Christy Byram immediately told them that that was a bit steep and gave them options to go back and look to see if we can receive a lower quote.
Any comments, concerns, fellow commissioners?
I mean, it's different shop, 32% is a huge increase.
Now, you mentioned the essential single-family rehab loan pool.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been an update on the 4 houses that were from last year?
That they have submitted, McDavid again, they submitted paperwork to Pitt to begin the back work, the paperwork that has to be done before they can even put anything out to bid.
So is that behind?
It is slightly behind. They had been, one of the main workers has been out, but they were trying to wrap up. They had quite a few grants that ended, so they got behind. So it's put us behind on that. But they've submitted everything to Pitt. He has to review all the paperwork, make sure everyone actually owns their home. If they don't own it, they have to have lifetime rights, and it has to be recorded in the register of deeds. So it's all the legal paperwork that has to be done before they can put anything out to bid.
Gary, I just want to commend you for the tour that you provided for me to the historic courthouse across the street. I was very interested. I've heard about the work being done there, so I had an opportunity to see the work. I also sent about 10 questions to Natalie and to Melissa. They were very forthcoming about different things that I'm trying to get myself educated with. And I would like to see an update at each of our commission meetings about the courthouse, because it's about to be finished, I hope.
Hopefully there won't be any more.
I hope, what I'm saying is, with all that's going on in the historic courthouse and plans for backfilling and things, I think it'd be beneficial if when we come to a commissioner meeting, we have the public here, that they receive some update, a comprehensive update of where we are, because it's very impressive, and they should know about the courthouse, what's going in the courthouse, and everything as far as backfilling the space that's going to be vacated. But I was very interested. You got a history lesson while I was there, and now it is very astute and showing me things and explaining who's going where and why. But I think the citizen will be very appreciative from now until we actually move in and move out of the county manager's office or whatever we're going to do. It's just like I was very impressed with the middle school. It was just like I was there every day. They wrote something in the Gates County Index. So I think it would be very beneficial to be a comprehensive report going forward, so that, when we have the grand opening, I hope we have a big thing going on here, that they would feel like they already know the courthouse. But I thank you and Melissa and all the county managers for how you've educated me.
Can I go one more time, Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I was going to wait on this till budget meeting, but my interest took me to Edenton today. And I mentioned it a year or so ago, or last year, and it looked like you and Commissioner Hopper attended a meeting with TCG to review the budget back on January 28th. I noticed again today that we're part of PCG, but I was in Chowan, which is a C, and they changed their dump site hours during the winter. And I think that's something, excuse me, that we should look at, especially as I just heard a 32% increase in insurance possible.
Now, insurance does not affect their employees, remember,
Right, but the county's got to come up with 32% more for insurance
for county
for
employees.
county employees. But my question is, as we're getting ready to study a budget, what would the cost savings to the county be to join in with the P and the C and go to winter hours, lower our hours, and maybe even, I would love to know the usage of the trash sites if they need to be open 7 to 7. If we went 7:30 to 6:30, saved an hour a day, how much money would it save the county going, down the road? I know that P&C do it, and I believe that Hertford County does as well. We're not tied into it, but I know they have winter hours. I'm sure you're not paying manpower, you're not paying electricity or whatever, but it's a possible cost savings. Well, I would think it would be a cost savings for the county, something maybe to consider as we put a budget together. Because every little bit's gonna help.
That's never been discussed, but I do know from comments that's been made to me that people don't think it's open long enough as it is.
People also don't like tax increases either.
Those will be numbers that Angel will have to run, so I can ask her to bring them to our, to get them together and send them to me.
Thank you.
But they'll come from the health department.
Thank you. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any other comments or statements as pertaining to our office?
One more, if I may. Can we take a 5-minute recess?
Yes.
Board's okay?
All right, we'll stand in recess for 5 minutes and then be back to all right, let's come back to order. Thank you. Tax report? Mr. Hill? Nice to see you, sir.
Nice to see y'all too. This is the tax report for February 1st to the 29th. You also have the tax budget report. We still have a busy month this month, collected for 2019. We brought in right over $237,000 in collections for the month. We're about 94% collected for the year. So we're getting close. We're getting close on that. In the beginning of February, on the 10th, we sent out over 1,050 delinquent notices. If those taxes are not received by the 10th of this month, the names will be published in the Gates County Index on the 25th per statutes. So we've had a lot of folks going in to keep that from happening the last couple of weeks.
And you advise that will be sent by the 10th?
Yes, sir. The 10th of March will be the last day to receive payment in our office before it gets published in the index on the 25th.
That was my question, so thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. Any other questions about the report?
I see with Zacchaeus, we were able to collect almost $13,000 from people who have been delinquent.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's always a good sign.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's a good point, Chairman Hoffman. That's money well spent.
Yes, sir. Those speed that up quick and helps get people coming and pay that up. So that's good.
And hopefully it'll cut down on the delinquency.
Yes, ma'am. Substitute.
Looks like, I don't think I remember a credit card on the website number being that high in the past. Is that?
We've had a lot of folks that want to call and pay. We don't take credit cards in the office. They do have to pay a 2.75% convenience fee for paying on the website or over the phone. And so that is either or. That's the website or telephone call-ins. So that's been good too. And that kind of helps us in our office, having them call the 800 number or go to the website. That's not taking up time in our office to process these credit card payments. And it saves us the in-county convenience fees that we would have to either pay or to charge a taxpayer. That's done through official payments, so that's good.
Very well, thanks, sir. Any comments? Concerns, questions? None? Thank you, Mr. Hill.
While I'm here, it's on the agenda. I would like to ask the board to consider some dates for the board of DNR. We have got to convene sometime between the 1st of April and the 1st of May for the first meeting, and then 3 weeks out, adjourn for any appeals or things of that nature. I've looked at the calendar and looked at previous years, and one of the dates that I kind of had in mind was, if you want to look at your calendars, April 27th to convene, which is a Monday, I believe. And then that would give us time. We've got to advertise that date 3 times between the time we decide on a date and the actual convening of the board. So we need to kind of come to a decision on that fairly quickly so we can go ahead and get that in the paper 3 times.
Well, Commissioners, you have everything in mind, you have calendars with you that you might be able to discern a date.
You looking at morning or afternoon that day, Chris?
Whatever pleases the board and whatever is convenient for the public. I think before we kind of met, like maybe an hour before commissioner meeting.
And chances are, pardon me for interrupting, chances are afternoon would be better because that is a court day, being Monday, so.
Hopefully you'll be across the hall, across the room.
Across the hall.
Well, afternoon, traditionally, we've done it in the afternoon, and that certainly benefits me better in the afternoon.
Commissioner Owens, we have a DSS board meeting that morning already. That's going to tie your whole day up. You might want to think about that.
Mr. Hobbs.
I was gonna say we're gonna do it in the afternoon, 5 o'clock or 5:30 or something.
Yeah, that will be fine, and just keep in mind too, we only need to have 3 commissioners for a quorum, so not everybody would have to be
And it's
there.
all just a very, generally for, it's not a reevaluation year, so it should be quick.
It should be. It's not.
Yeah, we're not gonna look over
Yeah,
here.
was this when we have to take an oath?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
27 in the afternoon, fine.
4:30, 5, 6, 8.
5.
I'd say 5, yeah.
Yeah.
4/27, 5 p.m.
And then will we have any problems adjourning that session, May the I think it's the 13th.
That's a Wednesday.
Right.
I don't have to come to this one.
Okay.
I think he would probably prefer that afternoon as well.
Yes, sir, that'll be fine with me, pleases the board.
So 27 April and 13 May.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
5 p.m. Okay, I'll send that to the index and we'll get that started.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any departmental reports?
Yes, there's one in your notebook, and then there's one also at your table because it was brought to us today, but because of the amount, we wanted to go ahead and put that out. They are both reimbursements from customer service. Yes, that's the new one. The one in your packet is in the amount of $300, and the other one today is $450. They both have overpayments.
Commissioners, have you had an opportunity to look at those? The one that just mentioned by the county manager, dated today's date, 04 March.
I make a motion that we approve the refund. All the documentation is here.
Is this for both of them?
I don't have the old
The
one.
other one should be in your notebook.
Is it behind the, is Kim's?
Yes.
If no one's opposed, we'll try to combine both of them.
Okay. And I don't really do the second one. And I read through them, so
And I'll second her motion.
All right, there's a motion on the floor and it has been seconded. Everybody had an opportunity to review.
and that one's for $300.
Okay. A total of $750 for both. Motion on the floor, it has been seconded. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, like sign? Here none. So be it. Any other departmental reports? Anyone want to bring anything forward?
I just wanted to know an update on the audit.
James sent the final draft, via email. I can't remember if it was this week or last week, but I received notification from the LGC that they had received our audit and, it had been approved. And now they're going through the, analytical part of the numbers, but, so we're done.
Okay, that's great news.
And it's been posted on the website.
Yeah.
But we don't have copies yet.
Okay, well, that's great. And it's Martin.
Yeah, we saw that on the website. Was there anything remarkable about it that you want to discuss with us?
I believe when I forwarded you guys the electronic file draft, we'll be getting those in the paper copy. I think they were printing them this week. The third attachment was the same kind of presentation when James was here for the FY 18 audit. So if you want to flip through and look at some of those highlights, that's kind of the summation of the big picture.
And maybe just for the basis of our citizenship listening in, is that the audit actually went all the way back to 2017. Is that correct?
There were some issues with our software conversion that caused some errors and some numbers in the prior audit that we have since corrected.
We're moving forward.
Comments or concerns or questions?
No questions?
I know y'all have worked very hard to get this done, and we do appreciate your efforts to get us up to speed and on time.
someone in the audience will bring anything forward. If not, we'll move along. County calendar,
That's in your packet just for informational purposes. Just a reminder that next Tuesday on the 10th, there's the district meeting in Plymouth. If you would like to ride, that we will be leaving at 4 o'clock. And this Friday at 9 o'clock, the Central Middle School ribbon cutting.
and for my fellow commissioners, it's not bad to ride with the county manager. She does drive.
You're not taking your life, you're okay?
I'm gonna get kids to take me.
I don't think she's right.
She didn't hear me.
We have no public hearings. Under old business, the resolution for meeting times. There's been some discussion about that. Any fellow commissioners want to talk about the change in meeting times for our board meetings? I think that's what this is about.
Well, we've been talking about it off and on over the years. Thought that it might would help with attendance. And I think Melissa put a list of options or something out there for us. I'm looking for it right now.
Yes, it should be.
I feel like she's probably, yes,
There's two options.
There's two options.
I've already looked at it since the beginning.
I thought it was on the table.
What's on the table is if you're interested in switching to the first weekend a month.
and,
You want to
and
address
her,
why?
and her reasoning for that, and you may want to, I think all the commissioners probably understand that, but just for the purpose of the citizens, why we would be changing to that. Because
Sure,
before-
by moving from the first week to the third week, it would allow for all of the departmental reports to be synchronized, and the board would be viewing information from the most previous month instead of like finance and some other departments that have closeouts where you're looking at information that's 2 months behind.
So do we need to read the resolution in the packet, or just make a motion that we pass the resolution for our meeting? That's what we're just making.
I think tonight we could agree if we're going to make that change, and then we can do the resolution. So we could agree tonight if we're going to make that change, and then subsequently our clerk will do a resolution.
There's a resolution in the packet, but it does reference the first Wednesday of every month. So if you changed your mind, then that would have to be reworded.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, sir.
Is that okay? Make sure I get it right, Melissa. I make a motion that pass the resolution first. Is that correct? Okay. Pass a resolution setting the meeting date for Board of County Commissioners, that the regular scheduled meetings of the Board of County Commissioners will be conducted the third Wednesday of every month at 6:30 p.m.
With the exceptions of December.
with the exception of the required December meeting for general statute.
I'll second that motion.
There's a motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. Do I need, my motion is to say, do I need to include the 2 meetings in May for budget purposes, or we can add it at April special
Right,
meeting?
what I would do is approve the resolution, since that's going to be long term, and then approve that meeting schedule if the board is in agreement to keep 2 meetings in May.
So the motion is to move the meeting schedule to the third Wednesday of the month, with the exceptions of what's by general statute. Any other changes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? Hearing none. Moving date will be changed to third Wednesday.
Also, while we're on that topic, could a decision also be made about the closed session as on the memo that Ms. Lawrence typed up? Things to consider especially would be the consent agenda and the closed session. The consent agenda would include things such as those refunds, the tax, and then closed session, having closed sessions before the meeting, so that if you have outside people coming in, it might not be 9 or 10 o'clock before we had closed session. We could start at 5:30, meet until 6:15 or so, and then pick back up if necessary after the meeting.
It's the first page after the old business tab,
Yes.
and I'm in favor of everything that's up on there.
Well, that would help us prepare the agenda for next month.
Are you in favor of it enough to make a motion?
Mr. Yes, sir. Thank you, Commissioner. I make a motion that we adopt the meeting schedule as printed on our document that's first page after old business.
And I'll second that motion.
Would that include moving to a consent agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on there.
Okay.
Unless you don't want us to.
All right, there's a motion and a second as pertaining to the scheduled meetings. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? Hearing none. The schedule so far.
County manager, so going with this new, especially the consent agenda, we'll be receiving emails leading up to make that work well.
Well, it'll still be in your packet, all the documentation will be, but it'll be listed as the consent agenda, so you'll know these items are definitely consent agenda, and then it'll be old business or unfinished business and new business.
And because it'll be new to us, if a commissioner has a question about one, are we to send that forward or make a phone call to your office ahead of time, or wait until the meeting to address it?
If you wait till the meeting to address it, you pull it off the consent agenda.
Yeah.
And if we feel, I'm going to go back to the budget amendment that we did last month, that was more complicated, things like that, we will not put on the consent agenda. If we feel like it's going to have a lot of questions, even after we've talked through it, if we feel like it's a lot of questions, we won't put it on the consent. We'll play it safe and put it on the regular agenda.
Okay.
Very well. Any other questions, comments?
About closed sessions being early?
That was all of that page.
Oh, okay, I didn't have that page.
Yes. It was the consent info.
Any other questions, comments pertaining to the change? Hearing none. Okay. Number 6.
Yes, if you remember, we had several questions that were proposed by Roger Van Smith, and you have an email, and I forgot to send this out and ask that people review this one, but on February the 24th, he had asked for an adjustment, and based upon discussions with Ms. Hendricks and discussions she had had with auditors about water billing questions, etc., Mr. Smith had requested a leak adjustment because he feels like the meter reading was incorrect, even though in February the 2 meter readings matched. So the recommendation from the county is that the billing question be adjusted to 8,000 gallons and that the commissioners make a decision on to either approve the adjustment or disapprove the adjustment. But the recommendation from Ms. Hendricks and myself, based upon reviewing his readings and everything, is that it be adjusted to 8,000.
opposed to the recommendation, but we probably, in this particular situation, probably were unable to actually determine, is it fair to say, what the issue might have been?
Correct.
I'm not opposed to the recommendation.
Just clear the decks.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chair, that we move forward with the recommendation of the county manager.
Any other questions or comments, folks? Okay. Yes, sir.
Fine with it.
Make a motion that we move along with the recommendation from the county manager and lower the usage to 8,000 gallons.
Second.
And there's a second motion and a second to move from the figure that was mentioned in the first email we received to adjust that to 8,000 gallons.
And he will receive it in the form of a credit.
Okay.
Roger. There's a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Like sign. Hearing none. So be it.
Thank you.
Now, the new business budget amendments. Is that one?
You should have budget amendments 24 through 32 in your packets. Budget amendment 24 is to cover the salary and benefits of the two new hires within the water department, and to also cover the upcoming retiree health insurance.
We're going to approve them all at one time.
That's at your discretion.
I think let's do them all.
One more time.
We do them all at once?
Okay.
Keep rolling.
Okay. 25, so we're all.
20, that's the long one. This is to cover the additional cost of the audit for this year.
Okay.
26, this is also to cover a shortfall in the workers' comp insurance in the water department.
Is that, so that policy, that it doesn't run concurrent with our budget year?
This is the, we initially do an estimate in the budget for what we think each department's going to cost based on the year before. And then when we get our actual invoice, that we can reallocate it correctly to the department. The amount doesn't change, it's just reallocated to the departments. So some will have a deficit and some will have too much, so we just move that line item around.
Okay.
And at one glance, we just see the same figure coming across the page.
Budget amendment 27, this is to cover the P9 tooth increase for the, for Leon insurance for Leon.
And that's quite much more than I'm doing for individuals.
Is that dog considered, who's the owner of
Is
that
that our
dog?
dog?
There is a contract that was signed, and it was approved by the attorney, reviewed it, and it does state that we will cover the medical or the vet expenses associated with the dog while it is being used for our purpose and training for our purpose. And a tooth was pulled out basically during a training. So,
So that's our dog.
yes.
That's our bill.
It's our bill, it's not necessarily our dog, because the contract very clearly states it's not our dog. However, I'm not really sure if they've ever finished the surgery. They had not started it, they've given us quotes, and I think they were checking to see if there was somewhere else that could do something for less money, but there were other medical bills also that we needed to cover.
And just for the sake of knowledge, it's titanium tooth.
There's further discussion ongoing about the dog and the
Toothpick didn't have any money left, right?
Did the attorney have any suggestion about, because of this issue, about
We've not,
looking at
like
contract?
I said, we're talking.
Okay.
We've not talked to the attorney, but the sheriff and I have talked some briefly the other week, and he's doing some checking with a few other contracts, so we will be reaching out to the attorney.
And the reason I ask about, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, the owner of the dog gets injured, let's say, the dog is trying to apprehend a suspect, and the suspect shoots the dog, kicks the dog, cuts the dog, and the owner says, I want to have this surgery, it's only $25,000.
Unfortunately, the way the contract was written and approved last year, we would be responsible. That does not say, however, that you could not, because that animal, from my understanding, would be considered, you could go to court also, and they could pay for that surgery or reimburse the county.
So we are looking into it.
From a lawsuit.
Right.
Absolutely. That was 27?
That was 27.
Okay.
For Budget Amendment 28, this is to move what was remaining in the workers' comp insurance line for building and grounds to the repair and supply line. This is to move additional money into the contracted services to cover the shortfall, and this would be in customer service.
Before we vote to approve all of these, can you go back to 25 just for that's sitting there, because that's such a large amount, and they should be aware of why it's $36,000.
For the additional, for the audit. Originally, the contract, there was a part of the contract where they only had estimated, I think, 2 single audits. And once they reviewed the different funds, there were more than 2 that had to be done that met the threshold. So I think there were 4. And we have reallocated those costs to those, if we could reallocate it to a specific department. We did reallocate that. The other part of why this was so expensive, like we found so many issues that we had to go back and correct because of the software conversion. They did not estimate this many hours in our contract.
Thank you.
Any other questions about 25? Commissioners? I too, Dr. Riddick, had and discussed this with Ms. Ivan, the additional expense.
Did anyone have any questions on 29?
No.
Budget Amendment 30, as you guys are aware, our Genesis program is solely grant funded, and we actually receive this money monthly. This is not a reimbursable grant where the county puts forward, pays for the cost, and then we get reimbursed. So if the grant does not spend their money correctly or in the right line items according to the sponsor, the county has to refund the money. So this budget amendment is to align with what they have in the NCLI system with the sponsor, so that we don't get into that situation where we have to pay back the money. This is also for the Genesis program. They had received additional grant funding for, I think it's called the Raise the Age. And then the last budget amendment 32, DSS has received additional grant funds for the LEAP program.
Mr. Chair, any questions or comments? Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to approve budget amendments 24 through 32.
There's a motion on the floor to approve budget amendments 24 through 36. Is there a second?
Second.
32.
32, sorry. going more forward.
Might get in trouble.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question before we vote.
Yes, sir.
And it's on the Genesis Raise the Age. Is that program?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Last year, the general statutes changed so that youth who are 17 and 18 now can be referred to juvenile court. Currently, up until, well, back in the early 2000s, when I was involved with JCPC, 17 and 18-year-olds could be referred to juvenile court system. Then that changed it, so 17 and 18-year-olds, and some 16-year-olds, depending on their offense, are sent to adult court. They looked at the numbers, and the decision was made to go back and put the 17 and 18-year-olds back into the juvenile system. So the state funded, I forget how much it was across the state for what they could call raise the age. Gates County received about $10,000 additional dollars for Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. Genesis received the $5,000 or so that you received there, and Genesis will be taking students who are identified, who are 17 and 18, on some college tours and doing some other one-on-one activities with them. Gates County, as an aside, is very fortunate with a very, very low number of students who go on probation, youth who go on probation. Last year was the first time in the 5.5 years that I've been here that they ever had to pay a restitution payment. And that was only $125. So they do not anticipate receiving a lot of 17 and 18-year-olds from the court system at this time, based upon the statistics from the state. But that is the money that would be used to work with those students if they did receive students for the program.
Any other questions about raise the age? That will be something I'm sure that we'll all be struggling with for a while, because you can be arrested 16 to drive an automobile, and yet, so there's going to be some other issues about that. I'm sure we don't need to address those. Any other questions or comments? Motion's been made, there's a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, like sign? Hearing none, so be it.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good day, Ms. Larson. How are you?
NCDOT was audited last year, and there was some findings on the drug alcohol policy. So there are some changes in wording. So they sent us a template for to go by, and since Gates County has always decided to have a zero tolerance for drug testing, we continue with that template, and and this is the document that we put together with their suggestions.
We always enjoy reading the policies.
Educational.
Yeah. Good way to put you to sleep. Yeah.
With, I just have a question about that, simply because being involved with the various tests and the cost and what have you. Is there anyone that performs a test close by? Greensboro is the closest I know actually to the final.
Well, we do the testing in Elizabeth City or Ahoskie, and they're sent there.
Right. And that's accepted in every federal institution?
Yes. And we do FDA.
I know for law enforcement has to be elsewhere, so. Any questions or comments?
I make a motion that we approve the drug and alcohol testing policy for GETS.
Motion on the floor to approve the drug alcohol policy for GETS.
I'll second that motion.
And there's a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? Hearing none, so be it.
Thank you.
there was a request from the Housing Committee that a commissioner be appointed to serve on this board. We know that last month board appointments were made, however, no one knew that the commissioners were to appoint someone. Melissa's done a lot of work over the past 2 weeks since we've received that request. And the bylaws were updated in 2013. And Henry Jordan had been serving as a citizen, and from what we understand, he was then put into the appointed position of commissioner by the Housing Committee, apparently not by the Board of Commissioners. So they have requested formally now that the commissioners appoint a commissioner to serve on the Housing Committee.
Absolutely.
Does the, I guess the bylaws or the makeup, is that gonna make them, or us, or whoever has to change that by us appointing someone now?
I'm trying to find that email. It came Monday. Did you forward it to them? The bylaws?
I did not send out the bylaws, but with the bylaws, their bylaws state that a commissioner is to be appointed. Commissioner Jordan had always served since the Housing Committee began.
In
When
2008.
he started, he was serving as a citizen. After he got on the board as commissioner, he continued and became that representative. I never knew he was appointed as a commissioner seat. I thought he served as a citizen or as a DSS rep. I had never found in the minutes where an official appointment had taken place. Therefore, we did not realize at the last meeting that was a position we needed to fill.
Makes sense.
And of course, if you want to think about it, we can send you the bylaws so that you can review them as well until when they meet. We can do that, and it can be on the April agenda.
And taking that in consideration, fellow commissioners, do you go on to any comments or discussion? You want, someone want to pop up and serve on?
How often do they meet?
They meet once a month.
Fourth
I was
of May.
going to say, I knew I was going to ask Patrice, but Mr. Saunders is here, so he could probably answer.
Right now, we're meeting on the fourth Monday of every month, at 1 o'clock right now. That's the time is subject to change maybe to 2 o'clock, but right now we're meeting at 1. And, we would really be appreciative of having the commissioners working, serving on our board. And, to have that open door policy along with what's going on.
After receiving this, Mr. Simon, too, have y'all talked about anyone in particular?
Not really. We leaving that up to the board, to the commissioners. We didn't think it'd be fair to us if we picked, so we're throwing it back in your hands. Hopefully someone who's willing that can attend the meetings and continue to keep the dialogue open between the commissioners and the Housing Committee.
Be hard to fill Commissioner Jordan's shoes. So knowledgeable about that as well as so involved, so thanks, sir.
While I'm standing, I would just like to say that I heard Melissa give a report about the people who apply. People call us, people call you guys. Is there any way that for those that don't qualify, that $25,000 amount, are they being notified that they didn't? Because what is happening when people apply with us, and we call you guys too, they call you, I'm not gonna say they don't hear nothing back, but then they'll call us, well, they'll call me, and say, what's the status or whatever. So if there's some kind of way we can open that up and let those people know why they didn't qualify, that way they don't have to keep waiting and waiting and waiting. And I would strongly suggest to the committee that you contact Attorney Godwin and put a little fire in them, because we've got these 4 houses you've heard us talk about. Some of these people have been waiting for almost 2 years. And I know it's a slow process, but that's mighty slow. And again, those same people call me on Tuesday mornings. What's the status? What's going on? We try not to nag anybody, But these people want some answers. And it just kind of puts us and you guys on the block. So we just need to let them know what the status is and just from there.
It's understandable. Thanks, sir. Any comments or?
That's fourth Monday.
Fourth Monday at 1 o'clock.
We've already got DSS board on the fourth Monday, so that would not work good for my schedule.
Mr. Chairman, if it's acceptable to this board of commissioners and the citizens, I would volunteer to serve as for the representative commissioners of housing. Now, my feet are not as big as Reverend Jordan. So I wear a size 6 shoe. But I got 2 feet.
You can put both of them
I
in
can
his.
put both of them.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we appoint Riddick before she changes her mind.
And I'll second that motion.
That's mighty kind.
Thank you
Dr.
for
Riddick.
working for the team.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Riddick, because it is very important, as Mr. Saunders has said, and as we know, with Commissioner Jordan sitting amongst us, how often he brought up various issues with the housing committee and what have you. So, thank you, ma'am. I don't know, we need a motion for that. She just,
Well, they've already made a motion, second, Jack voted, so.
So very well, thank you, ma'am. You're hereby appointed. So now we know who's on the committee. Thank you, Dr. Riddick.
CAC appointment for Brenda Riddick. She has completed all of her training, and they are asking that she be appointed because her appointment expires on March the 30th.
And she's currently serving.
Yes, she's currently serving, and this is going to be a reappointment for 3 years.
And this is the board that we were short of members. That
Yes,
are
but they
usually-
have-
but there's some that's been trained,
Right,
that are
they've
getting
been
ready to
trained.
be finished, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
You may still be one short.
Okay, I make a motion that we appoint Brenda Riddick for another term on the CAC board committee.
I'll second that motion.
A motion and a second to appoint Ms. Riddick, CAC board. Any discussion? Any comments? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? Hearing none, so be it.
That's right. I would just skip it.
You just skip it, okay.
That's why I'm listening to you. I already found out basically what I wanted to know.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Carter. Thank you, Madam County Manager. Any citizen comments? Anyone want to face see someone like come up? Would you like to come back? And once you reach the podium, if you will give us your name and address, please.
I'm Shannon Jenkins, organized violence on Highway 37 South, East Long Island, 2798, 357 Thanks. I'm kind of ashamed to ask this, but Jackie, I realize I'm always concerned about animals, dogs. So my question is, your canine for the department, the deputy department, are you saying that this canine doesn't belong to the sheriff's office, it belongs to an individual person?
Correct, yes, ma'am. Belongs to a deputy who purchased the dog and through a VA, it was in the neighborhood of 15,000 to 20,000. That's what it trained on.
It was a service dog.
Yeah.
But the service dog has gotten hurt.
Roger, you're right.
And you're responsible for the medical bills.
And we get the services of that $15,000 dog, and we feed the dog, and of course, if it gets hurt, we're currently, the contract says we're responsible for taking it.
If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't there, a health insurance for a dog?
The dog is covered under certain aspects, but this is not covered. We've already checked into all that.
Okay. So did you say you took the dog out of training or he didn't pass training?
No one ever said the dog didn't pass training. The dog was trained, doing continual daily training.
Okay. All right. All right, my next question is, that's good, 'cause next question is, are you all financially able to buy protective gear for this canine service? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, ma'am, you're talking about, probably, what citizenship would know is a bulletproof vest.
Yes.
There's not been one purchased, and there's not been anything in the budget for that in the past or that I'm aware of.
So if there are not any, what you call it, something offered by the state that would help, your situation, that they offer, what is,
Were you referring to the grants?
yes, grants.
There's not any grants that we've seen for dogs.
Okay. Okay, my last question, to you, and I apologize again because I'm behind time. The communication between Gates County Housing Committee and Anthony, does it seem to be, is it your responsibility, who is in Gatesville District?
I'm here as a commissioner.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot.
That's okay. But those comments and might not begin with the commissioner or filter down to a commissioner. Anthony is in a prime position to get that call because he's in charge of the housing committee.
Okay, so my question is, and I have reference to the recent fire report of the Norfolk family. And I understand there was, on a given station where some gentleman said that they would, he would immediately, I could be wrong about this because I was told secondhand, that they would immediately make sure that he would have a home. So as I speak to Anthony, you know, there are certain procedures that you have to go by in order to get this home, which some people are not aware of. And you all of you are very busy people, so you cannot select a given person that has experienced a fire. So I'm wondering, did you know about that?
Look, what we're talking about is a grant. And so the grant has qualifications, and there are numerous things. That application is pretty extensive as far as qualifications, and it's really, it's income-based, and well, there are a lot of things. But unfortunately, losing your home, hurricane, tornado, fire, flood, or whatever, wouldn't qualify you or move you to the front. And we don't have sole authority, selection authority in that process, because it is a grant.
When someone's house is, and I don't understand the guidelines, but I probably eventually will one way or the other. When you often select a house to be refurbished. Is that under Anthony's,
It begins with them, is that right, Natalie?
It depends on which program, are you gonna allow this going for more than 5 minutes? Other one, because I need to know, because I'm gonna turn this off, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, let's turn it in this situation, because we've got, because Anthony spoke toward it.
It depends on which grant program that you're referring to. The housing committee is actually separate from the grants in that they don't administer the grants. The housing committee can take the applications, or they did take the applications, they no longer do, they refer people. The applications the housing committee takes is for small repairs, maybe a small roof repair, a deck, that sort of thing. They do not do total home repair. The grant application, which is what you're referencing, the current program that we have, people are told to contact Melissa. Melissa asks certain questions, she takes down the information and passes it on to McDavid and Associates. There is,
that Melissa?
yes,
Melissa who?
Lawrence.
Lawrence?
Lawrence. And there's a packet of information that they, McDavid and Associates, will contact people, ask lots of questions. And if your house has more than $25,000 worth of damage, you are not qualified for the program. If they come out, because that is the limit from the North Carolina Housing Finance Association. The county does not set that limit. That is set by the grantee. So they come out, if you don't own your home, your rent, you don't qualify. So there's other criteria as
This home
well.
was owned.
But they do not help people with fires. That is not the purpose of any of these grants that we have.
To rebuild a.
That is not the purpose of any of those grants if you lose your home to a fire. No.
Not even a grant.
That is not the purpose of any of the grants that we have.
So the purpose of the grants is to refurbish homes like, there's a hole in the
In
ceiling.
the roof, right.
And there's floors that have, need,
Correct.
that.
That's why I said $25,000 limit. They will come out and assess your house. They come and they take pictures, they walk around. If they determine, okay, you own your home, you know, and you meet the income qualifications, they come out and look at your house. And if your house has more damage than $25,000, you cannot be assisted with that grant.
Okay, is this, it doesn't go up? That's
Very,
your limit.
that's the limit. There are some exceptions, but they have to go through multiple steps at the state level to get it approved. Because it also depends on how much money has not been allocated to other counties.
Okay, so the grant goes through,
McDavid, you can contact Melissa
at the,
at 357-2411.
And the most we've ever had on the rebuilding of the homes in a year is 4.
Right.
Most we've ever had, so you can imagine, there's a list.
right now.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yes.
There's 4 people that were selected from the applications we received for 2 other grants that had the $25,000 limit. Their house needed more work than they would qualify for. So the worst houses were the ones who were put into the CDBG Community Development Block Grant Program to have their homes rebuilt, and there were 4. Now, if something should happen, and one of those 4 houses no longer qualify, the person who lived there passes away, or it turns out they don't own the house, it's actually rental, or there's some legal issue, which is what they're looking into now, and the people cannot qualify for the program, then the next house on that list would be considered to be rebuilt. But again, it's not for fire.
But so what about the house that you, have refurbished and is, handicap accessible, and the person has died, what house is the house in? Where's the house, to the next of kin?
Well,
It
very
depends on-
extensive rules, yeah.
Yeah,
You
there,
don't
it
go through all the
depends on
rules.
lots, there's lots of criteria that you have to go through.
I mean, but is it permissible?
It can be passed to if a relative, I'm going to use an example, if the son moves into the house, the decision can be made that that person assumes no debt because it's a loan. Even though it's called a grant, it's still taken out as a loan. And at the end of, if they've lived in that house, I forget for this program, I think it's 7, no, I think for the 25,000, I think it's 7 years. They've lived there for 7 years, that amount is forgiven. And if the person passes away and they decide to sell the house, then the estate has to repay the money to the state.
It's a public privilege to your guidelines.
This information has been made public, and DSS has been made public in several places, so yes.
So I can get it. Thank y'all.
You're welcome. Thanks, Sam.
Appreciate your question and comment. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
It's a question. Valerie Riddick, 58 Light Street, Sunbury, North Carolina, 27979. Just a general question in regards to the meeting dates when you change to the third Wednesday of the month. Will you still have the 2 meetings a month on an alternating month? So it's just going to be 1 meeting a month?
It's just 1 meeting a month. We're sorry, we didn't clarify that. That was in the resolution, it's just 1 meeting a month.
Okay.
Unless it's a special meeting, okay, you'll receive notification.
Okay, good. The reason I was asking is because I do, in our church newsletter, we put in the meeting dates on our calendar. So I just want to make sure that we're consistent, and if it's going to be 1 month, or it's going to be like 2 months.
I believe there's additional in May, it's not like 18th of May, 18th of May.
Well, that's typically when they've been held, so there'll be some additional ones in May because of the budget meeting.
But it always be updated on the website.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Or if you're on the sunshine list, you'll get the email.
Well, I'm not on the list anymore, but I stay on your website. And like I say, thank you, my sister-in-law, Anthea Riddick, Dr. Riddick. So, part of the family, so.
Good to see you, Val.
That's a good plug. Any other comments, citizens' comments?
I have a quick question. Honestly, it's only take a second. My name's Milton Carter, I live in Hollisville. I seen a public sign today that said, public hearing for the old prison out there. And I didn't see it on the agenda today.
No, it's just been advertised. That public hearing will be March the 17th. It is for the Board of Adjustment.
Board of Adjustment?
Yes.
What do they do?
Lisa, would you like for Lisa to very briefly, might be interested, just to announce that?
Mr. Carter, will you yield?
Yes,
She can answer
that.
This is the second time he's yielding.
Here's one question. You want to know the date?
Oh, no, I was just wondering what the public hearing was about for a special use permit?
It's for a special use permit for, the sheriff's office has submitted an application to have a training shooting range at that location.
Okay, that was what was in the last meeting.
Yeah, this will be the special use permit. They're going through the process like anyone else would to gain that special use permit, and that's for the 17th at 1 p.m.
Okay. That's all.
And of course, that's why it's out of the old prison.
Yes, yes.
All right, any other citizen comments? If not, commissioner comments. And we'll start with our beloved Dr. Riddick.
Thank y'all for coming.
You done?
I'm done. If I say any more, I might be voluntold for something else.
We're going down the line. I was waiting on you. I'm just glad I'm not a new person anymore and get suckered into stuff. It's nice to say that. It was an honor to be, meet Mr. Wiggins tonight, 105 years old, that's a lot. I'll be there about 80 years.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank y'all for coming. We'll see you next month.
Once again, thank you for coming, and certainly it's an honor to honor Mr. Wiggins. I hope I'm not looked back good when I don't look back good now. So, no hope. I always hope that everyone will take care of their health. We have a lot of in the news about the virus. You know, just be safe, do things you're supposed to do, wash your hands, if you're sick, stay home, and so that we can kind of control that outbreak. And you know, as we have moved forward and try to do the best we can for county, and I'm sure you'll let us know when we're not doing our job.
Valerie just couldn't stay awake, could she?
Neither can Milton.
It's good to see you. Good to see everybody. Have a good week.
Thank you, fellow commissioners. I just want to recognize everyone here because obviously this is what you support. You're supporting the Gates County government. And for that, we thank you and I thank you. Take care, be safe, and stay safe. We do that. And we're going to have to go into closed session on, pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, 31, 8.
Which number?
All of
All
them. Some of them are interprovided.
Legal, economic development, and real estate.
You need that motion?
Yes.
I make that motion, we go into closed session for everything on the agenda.
Anyone second?
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign?
We have 5 minutes.
All right, 5-minute recess, and go to closed session.
I make a motion to come out of closed session.
Second.
Motion second, come out of closed session, I heard.
Motion to come out of closed session,
Already made.
and a second.
And a second, yes, sir.
You asked for
All in favor,
discussion.
coming out of closed session, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign?
I'd like to make a motion, we adjourn, Mr. Chair.
So be it. We stand adjourned.
We have a second to that one.
All right, go ahead, Lynn.
James.
You got it.